Hello and welcome to Force's September Hereditary Cancer Live Update. Our live updates are meant to deliver news designed to keep you informed, empowered, and engaged. The updates given today are paramount to our community. My name is Elise Boucher. I am a member of the Force community, and I will be your moderator. Force improves the lives of millions of individuals and families facing hereditary breast, ovarian, pancreatic, prostate, colorectal, and endometrial cancers. Our community includes people with a BRCA, ATM, PALB2, CHEK2, or other inherited gene mutations and those diagnosed with Lynch syndrome. We accomplish the Force mission through our support, advocacy, education, and research efforts. Visit our website for expert-reviewed information and access to our support programs, including virtual Zoom meetings, our peer navigation matching program, and our online message boards. At this time, we would like to recognize our sponsors for making this programming possible and for their continued support of Force and the hereditary cancer community. Our Force presenters today are Rachel Adler, Social Media Manager, Kelly Owens, Director of Education and Research, Lisa Peabody, Advocacy Manager, and Diane Rhodes, Vice President of Research. After their updates, we will conduct a Q&A to answer the many questions that you have. Please submit your questions using the Q&A feature. We will do our best to address each one. Our presenters will not be providing medical advice. Please reach out to your doctor if you have any specific or urgent questions. At this time, I would like to welcome Rachel Adler, Force Social Media Manager.
Hello to everyone out there. I'm happy to talk to you about National Hereditary Cancer Week, which we have starting up this Sunday. National Hereditary Cancer Week and National Previvor Day are opportunities to spotlight hereditary cancer, impart knowledge, and save lives. This year, National Hereditary Cancer Week is September 28th to October 4th, and National Previvor Day is October 1st. To give a little bit of background, National Hereditary Cancer Week was established by Congress in 2010 as National Hereditary Breast and Ovarian Cancer Week and National Previvor Day. Little note, this means that this is our 15th year celebrating National Hereditary Cancer Week. In 2020, Force renamed the week to recognize and support people affected by different hereditary cancers. National Previvor Day recognizes those with an inherited mutation who have never been diagnosed with cancer. These individuals face complex decisions about surveillance and risk reduction, and Force is here to support them every step of the way. Each year, Force is proud to lead this national movement by providing trusted information, expert resources, and a strong voice in support of those navigating inherited gene mutations linked to cancer. This year, to shine a light on National Hereditary Cancer Week, we are launching the Living in My Genes social media campaign. This will find 20 influencers posting during the week on Instagram and TikTok as collaborations with Force. These people will wear a pair of their favorite denim and share their heartfelt stories about what it truly means to live in their genes. You'll hear powerful perspectives from individuals affected by hereditary cancer, healthcare heroes, caregivers, devoted family members, and more. Together, we're spotlighting the personal journeys, resilience, and hope that unite those impacted by hereditary cancer. Follow Force throughout the week and be inspired by the voices that make our community so extraordinary. And guess what? We have a really easy way for you to get involved and make your own Living in My Genes post, and to help us share about National Hereditary Cancer Week, Previvor Day, and Living in My Genes using our social media toolkits. There you'll find, and we'll talk about the QR code in a moment, there you'll find ready to share posts, graphics, and videos that make it simple to spread the word on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, WhatsApp, Blue Sky, and really anywhere you personally use social media. So let's do it together right now. Take out your phone, grab this QR code, and follow along with the prompts that follow, but maybe wait until after the rest of our updates. And I will be here at the end of today's update to answer any questions you have after giving it a try. So happy National Hereditary Cancer Week and Previvor Day.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Rachel. Next, I would like to welcome Kelly Owens, Force Director of Education and Research.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our X-ray program and our current reviews in that program. So the X-ray program reviews current topics in cancer that impact our hereditary cancer community. The QR code on the top of this slide will take you to our X-ray review library. But one of those reviews that's current that I wanted to highlight for you is about breast cancer, and it is a review of the partner trial where um, researchers were looking at the dose and timing of a PARP inhibitor, olaparib, and chemotherapy drugs, which typically haven't been able to be used together. But they found a dose and timing of 48 hours between those that allows people to use those prior to surgery. And one of the benefits of that is that it leads to longer times before recurrence for individuals that are treated with this for early breast cancer. So, good news on that front that you can read more about in this review. We have several that are coming soon. They're not published yet on our site, but they'll be coming out over the course of the next couple weeks across Hereditary Cancer Week. And I just wanted to highlight those for you. One is on endometrial cancer, looking at the risk of endometrial cancer among people with inherited BRCA1 or 2 mutations. And it shows that while endometrial cancer is rare in general in the population, it is slightly elevated in people with BRCA1 mutations. For women, lifetimes are very similar to we see in population as a whole. There doesn't seem to be a elevation among people with BRCA2 mutations. Our data with younger generations, the age of diagnosis was younger among those later generations. And this is a uh, phenomenon that we call anticipation in genetics. It's been seen with other genes in addition to LMLH1. But because of this young diagnosis generation, it's are to start screening 10 years before the youngest age of diagnosis in your family, and in concert with other information that you'll talk to your providers about. So this is very much in support of that information. And then the last that I wanted to highlight is about prostate cancer, looking at the PARP inhibitor Talzenna to treat people with mutations in their cancer that are HHR deficient. So HHR is homologous recombination repair deficiency. It's just a way of saying that DNA repair doesn't is affected in those cancers. So these would include genes like BRCA1 and 2, ATM, PALB2, and a number of others. And what they showed in this study was that this particular drug treatment benefits people with mutations in these genes in their cancers. These are somatic mutations. We don't have data on germline mutations yet for these, but seem to be particularly effective for people with BRCA1 and 2 mutations. So we just wanted people to know about that. So look for those 3 reviews coming soon. And I'll turn it back to our moderator.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kelly. Next, we would like to welcome Lisa Peabody, Force Advocacy Manager.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. I do our public policy at Force, and I just wanted to start today talking about an issue we see in genetic discrimination. We've learned from our community that people who carry a genetic hereditary mutation are sometimes charged more for their life, long-term care, and disability insurance. And we know that people with mutations often undergo risk-reducing surgery and high-risk screenings. And so it doesn't make sense for those patients to be charged more for those premiums when they're taking proactive steps to help their cancer risk. Also, we've discovered that people are sometimes afraid to purchase, afraid to have their testing for fear that they won't have access to life, long-term care, and disability insurance. Next slide. Currently, we do have some protections at the federal level with the law of GINA, the Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act, which passed in 2008. And GINA protects the individual with a genetic mutation from discrimination with purchasing of health or medical insurance. So you can't be charged more because you have a gene mutation or because you have even a family history of the mutation or disease. It also protects people in the workplace. Employers can't hire you or fire you because, not hire you because of your genetic mutation. Next slide. So what we've discovered and what's current is that there's a coverage gap because GINA only applies to medical health insurance and employee benefits, and it does not apply to people when they're purchasing life, long-term care, and disability insurance. So we have been working at the state level to create laws that would protect your privacy with regards to those mutations. We've been in 7 states about 3 years. We're gaining momentum and spreading the word and bringing attention to this issue. And as we work at the state level, we're ready to also bring up this issue at the federal level. So FORCE has convened a work group of really highly experts in genetic privacy, and we have attorneys, academia, and these people are getting together with FORCE to create legislation to amend GINA or HIPAA and approach and attack this problem. We also are looking at safeguarding genetic data when it's collected by direct-to-consumer products like 23andMe. So pretty hopeful on that. I'm going to switch gears to another public policy issue, and this affects our Medicare beneficiaries. So these are people who are age 65 and are in the Medicare healthcare system. Currently, there's an issue where if you come into that program and you need genetic counseling based on a doctor's recommendation, that genetic testing is not covered. Also, the high-risk screenings and risk-reducing surgeries are not covered as part of the Medicare program. Next slide. So we've got this coverage gap. So for now in Medicare, you can get coverage for genetic testing if you're diagnosed with cancer, but not if you're a previvor. And if you were getting those high-risk screenings before you came into Medicare because of your previvor status, those are no longer covered. Those high-risk pancreatic screenings, those breast MRIs, those annual colorectal cancer screenings, or if you determine with your doctor that it's time for your risk-reducing surgery. So we have a fantastic solution, and we've been working on this bill for several years. This is the Reducing Hereditary Cancer Act, and it's going to change that coverage for Medicare so that those services are covered for both previvors and people who have been diagnosed with cancer. It's a bipartisan piece of legislation. We're really excited about all of our sponsors. You can see them listed on the slide. They're from across the country. And you can take action today if you have family members in Medicare or if you're heading into that program by using this QR code. When you link to the QR code, you'll need to add your address, and that will identify your lawmakers. And from there, a pre-written message about the Reducing Hereditary Cancer is automatically sent to your lawmakers. And if you want to take longer than a minute to work on this and just put another 2 or 3 minutes, you can also add your story to this letter. So this is a great opportunity, and I appreciate you taking action today.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Lisa. This is just a reminder that after Diane does her presentation today, we'll be doing our live Q&A. So please use the Q&A function to type in your questions, and we will address them at the end. So finally, I would like to welcome Diane Rose, Vice President of Research at FORCE, for her presentation.
Thanks, Elise. So today I'm just going to talk about hereditary cancer research updates. I'll start with our Search and Enroll tool, which is an online custom database with studies that are enrolling people with or at high risk for hereditary cancer. Each study is written in plain language and includes who is eligible to participate and who to contact to learn more or to enroll. And researchers frequently reach out to FORCE to collaborate on studies focused on hereditary cancer, including patient registries, clinical trials, and other research initiatives. And by sharing information about ongoing studies and registries, FORCE is empowering people and families to participate in research that helps to advance treatment, prevention, and understanding of hereditary cancer. Next slide, thanks. The research team at iCare reached out to FORCE to collaborate on their registry for people with an inherited mutation or cancer in the family. So we added the registry to our search and enroll tool, and you can scan the QR code or follow the link to learn more. People are eligible if they're 18 years of age or older and have an inherited mutation in a gene that's linked to cancer, if they have a variant of uncertain significance or a VUS, or if they have an unexplained, strong personal or family history of cancer. And of note, the registry is actively enrolling people with any mutation that's linked to hereditary cancer risk. So for those of you with mutations in a less common gene, this study is a great opportunity for you to contribute to research. The participation involves completing an online consent form, medical records and tissue or tumor release forms, as well as some initial and then follow-up surveys. And then saliva and or tumor samples may be requested from participants to conduct additional genomic analysis. So the research team at iCare partners with patients, healthcare providers, and advocacy groups like FORCE for research, education, and engagement. So people who participate in iCare are actively involved in new discoveries. They receive ongoing research and clinical updates, and they're informed about other research opportunities for which they might be eligible through their monthly newsletters and their emails. Next slide. We are excited that so many people from FORCE are participating in the iCare registry. To date, of the 8,000 people that are in the registry, 1,156 people from FORCE reached out to the iCare team to learn more, and 1,050 people have joined the registry. We have 506 people who have donated a saliva sample to iCare, but we could do so much more with your participation, and I encourage you to get involved. Next slide. iCare participants are sent information about targeted research efforts that they might be eligible for. So the impact study is now closed, and they are conducting the follow-up. And this clinical trial, which was part of iCare, tested online strategies to improve the delivery of follow-up care for those with inherited cancer gene mutations. And there are several manuscripts that are underway for their novel findings, which is really exciting. Ones that are open in iCare are the VUS study, which is the variant of uncertain significance study, and that's enrolling people to contribute to research to improve resources for those with a VUS in an inherited cancer gene. And the genomics study is examining breast cancer tumor samples that are collected from iCare participants. Next slide. We're also collaborating with other research teams for their registries, and I'll highlight a few on these next two slides. The Rutgers study is a registry for anyone aged 18 or older who lives in the United States. You're eligible regardless of whether or not you have had breast cancer. This online study aims to increase understanding of the genetic basis of breast cancer, which is a crucial step in drug development to improve cancer treatment options. And to date, 13,678 people are enrolled in the Rutgers registry, and 1,076 of them are from FORCE. Susan G. Komen has an online registry for anyone diagnosed with breast cancer, and that registry is called Share for Cures. This registry is connecting scientists with information from people who have or who have had breast cancer. Sharing their breast cancer information with the registry, along with other Share for Cure participants, helps researchers discover cures for breast cancer faster. Through Share for Cures, they will connect different types of health data from thousands of people over time to create one of the most valuable tools available for breast cancer research. The PREVAIL study is an online study for African American men with prostate cancer or with a strong family history of cancer, and it aims to evaluate a genetic education video that will deliver information about genetic testing for African American men in a relatable way to increase access to genetic testing. And there's a QR code there to all of our registries. Next slide, please. The PROMISE study is a registry of people diagnosed with prostate cancer with inherited gene mutations. And the PROMISE study team is studying how these mutations affect treatment options and patient outcomes. Penn Medicine is enrolling people with Li-Fraumeni syndrome, their family and household members into its registry. The research study collects blood and other optional samples from individuals with Li-Fraumeni syndrome, and it aims to create a large collection of samples for future research projects. And finally, the last registry that I'll highlight today is from the Mayo Clinic, and they have a registry that is collecting blood samples and imaging records of people at high risk for developing pancreatic cancer, and that's to improve early stage detection methods in the future. And again, here's the same QR code to these and other registries on our website. And I really encourage all of you to get involved in a registry because it's an easy way to participate in research. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Diane. I would now like to invite all of our speakers to come on camera with their mics. We will now be beginning our Q&A portion of our update. Like I said, please make sure to submit your questions using the Q&A function on the screen. We have our first question that came through, and it's for you, Diane. We have a participant asking if the eye care study is open to people outside of the US.
I believe it is, yes, but I can look into that before the end of this call.
Okay, excellent. And I do want to ask you one follow-up question
Sure.
before you look into that, and you can put the answer in the chat for our attendees. So this constituent wants to know, is joining a registry the same as signing up for a clinical trial? If not, can you please explain the difference?
Sure, that's a great question. So the answer is no. Joining a registry is not the same as enrolling in a study. A registry is really simply a secure database where people share their health information, family health information. Sometimes, as we discussed in the studies that I highlighted, sometimes we submit samples such as blood or tissue. And then this information helps match these people with relevant studies that they may be eligible for, that they may be interested in. So if someone is eligible for a specific clinical trial, they can be contacted about the details and they can decide at that point whether they want to participate or not. So a registry is more about opening the door to these opportunities, but it doesn't commit anyone to a trial.
Excellent. Thank you so much for clarifying. This next question that we had come in is for you, Lisa. It is, why is it that Medicare doesn't cover high-risk cancer screening and risk-reducing surgeries while commercial insurers do?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Medicare was originally created in 1965, and the life expectancy for people was so much shorter, and the focus was more end-of-life care and comfort care at this age. And as we know, people are living so much longer, and the Medicare program and coverage values haven't really changed. So this Reducing Hereditary Cancer Act helps to update this this program so that it mirrors more of what people need at age 65 and age 70, similar to those commercial plans.
Excellent. Thank you so much for clarifying. We did have a question come in. I think, Kelly, it's going to be for you. To your knowledge, or to force X-ray articles, are there long-term studies being done on the effects of MRI contrast for those that are doing high-risk breast cancer screening that people can participate in?
I believe there are studies being done on that, but I don't have those details at hand. I'd have to get back to the questioner about that.
Okay, but so anybody in the audience who is looking for more information on this type of study can obviously reach out directly to you, Diane, or they can look for upcoming X-ray articles, which are available on our website as well. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Lisa, this is another follow-up question for you, another one on Medicare. If Medicare doesn't cover screenings, is there a supplemental insurance that does? If not, how are people paying for their testing? You don't have to speak to specific insurance companies, but just about alternative routes for accessing care and coverage.
So, in terms of the second portion of the question, how are people accessing it? They are paying out of pocket, so not a great plan. The supplemental cares, I like Kelly would have to go and do a little digging and see what supplemental, if there are any supplemental care programs that do cover it. Where the Reducing Hereditary Cancer Act would focus so that anyone in the program, regardless of their supplemental plans, would have the coverage, if that makes sense.
Yes,
Thanks.
excellent. Thank you. And Diane, you did have a follow-up on the participants that are able to take part in the eye care study, and that is regardless of location. So inside the US and outside of the US, correct?
Correct.
Excellent. Just to give a little bit more information in terms of, accessing these type of registries or accessing clinical trials, how do they really make a difference for the hereditary cancer community?
Yeah, that's another really great question. So registries can really give researchers a clearer picture, and in our case of the hereditary cancer population, like what kinds of cancer people can develop, how the treatments are working, and then maybe what gaps are still existing for care. So without registries, it could be harder to identify enough participants for the studies, especially in rare subgroups. And the data also highlights the needs maybe for more inclusive research across different communities. So really these registries are amplifying our voice, the voice of the hereditary cancer community, to help ensure that future care and treatments are shaped by real world experiences from people who are experiencing cancer uh, or risk of cancer.
Excellent. Thank you for elaborating. And I think with everything that we're talking about today, the biggest thing that people can do here on the call is to get the news out to their own networks. So Rachel, we had put the link in the chat for the social toolkits. If you could just go a little bit more into depth and just explain when people access the social toolkits, which social media platforms will they be able to post onto using the toolkit itself?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, we can.
Awesome. So the social toolkits are exceptional in that they allow you to be able to post to any of the networks that you're on, even if it's not something that Forest is currently participating on. So for instance, if you're a big WhatsApp user, there's a way to share. Let's use National Hereditary Cancer Week as an example. On pre-made posts, we also have posts that allow you to fill in the blank and say who you are. I'm a caregiver, I'm a survivor, I'm, however you want the post to come. The posts are coming from you sharing about what Force is, trying to bring awareness to. And the posts then go to your social network. It provides you prompts. If you're making a video, it tells you to turn on the light. It tells you the kinds of things that we're looking for and how to answer that. It really walks you through and makes it really easy to make a short little video that then you share with your communities. So we're really excited about it. We hope people will take part. And in terms of timing, I mean, if you want to say it's coming, we are starting National Hereditary Cancer Week on Sunday. I think if you feel ready to use the toolkit, it is ready for you to use. And we encourage that. And then, as we said, check back every day to see all of the Great Living in My Genes posts that we'll be having. And in a lot of ways, really, for the first time sharing on TikTok with this campaign as well. So that's exciting. So we hope to see you there. And I think it's pretty user friendly, but if you encounter any issues, hopefully you can let me know. Thanks.
Excellent. And it's so exciting that access to now TikTok. And as someone has personally used the toolkit before, I just want to speak to the ease of its usage. It's very easy to understand. It's very easy to post. You can either doctor the post a little bit, but it, shares images with you and gives you direct links. So just very seamless. So Rachel, thank you for all your work in this area. I do want to just answer one more question, and it's actually going to be a plug for one of our next upcoming events. And that is, there was a constituent asking about new research about ovary and tube removal. We have this great series called Ask the Experts. We're in our third installation, which will be coming up in October, where we have expert panelists on surgeons, oncologists, researchers speaking about specific subjects. Our next upcoming one is on GI. However, coming the new year, we will have another one that will probably be about, salpingectomies and give you all of your information there. So please do look out for our Ask the Expert events that are coming up. They are live events. They're really informative. We have breakout sessions with them. So please look for those events to come through to answer really specific questions about surgeries and new research information in specific areas. So at this time, I would like to thank our 4 speakers. We will transition to the end of our presentation, and so I will share a slide just with a couple of more pieces of information for you all to take a look, but thank you so much to our presenters. And so at this time, obviously, we would like to thank our sponsors again for helping to bring this program to you. We could not do it without their engagement and sponsorship. As mentioned, we do have those exciting events coming up. We will host that next Ask the Experts webinar on GI cancer risk screening, prevention, and treatment on October 27th at 6 p.m. You can use this QR code to register. You can also visit our website for more information. And most importantly, for us to continue to shape this programming and to fit the needs of our viewers, our attendees, please take a moment to absolutely fill out our feedback survey. Your feedback is very important to us, and it helps to shape the future of our programming. So at this time, I would like to just encourage you to please continue to reach out to FORCE for your support and information needs. While there are many mutations and many cancers, there is just one community, the FORCE community, that supports anyone who is impacted by them. Thank you very much for attending, and have a great day, everybody.